searching for you. I'm still searching for you. From dirt to the sky, I'm still searching for you.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your T-shirted historian, and welcome to another week in Geek. Well, it's been an interesting day. There's been so much stuff that's been popping up across my feed the last couple of days that I don't know that we're going to be able to talk about every single damn thing I want to today. And that's okay because, you know, I like that. There are certain people out there, and I don't usually like to take shots at other YouTubers necessarily, but, you know, if they're going to take shots at me, you know, fair game is fair game. They like to use my name in conversation and stuff. And that's fine because you know what? I figure the more they talk about me, the more people get interested in me, and it can only, you know, turn into more people looking at my stuff, which may mean more subscribers. And the last video they put out that mentioned my name, I don't think was necessarily trying to insult me so much. They were going after diversity. And they just happened to mention me in passing, which is like, okay. But what that person probably doesn't realize is that when I started Week in Geek, we really were pretty much a straight up pop culture channel. I mean, if you go back and you check out the earliest videos, we mostly talked about movies, comic books, graphic novels, that sort of thing, you know, state of the industry. The gaming element didn't start developing until, I don't know, sometime in second season, as I started to get a lot more panelists on who were more game oriented, you know, such as, you know, Victor and other folks, Greg. So I always kind of considered this to be like a gaming channel second, and more of a pop culture channel first. But that focus kind of like has shifted around, and it really kind of depends on whatever the big story that week is. Because, you know, like if WotC goes and sticks their dick in mustard again, then it's kind of like, oh, well, we got to talk about WotC. So it becomes more of a gamer focused thing. But if some new movie comes out and it's just spectacular and we're all excited about it, and when is the last time that actually happened? Of course, we're going to be more pop culture oriented. It's just kind of like whatever the trend kind of is that week. Because it's like the lunch table. It's like I tell people, we don't necessarily come in here with a lot of set agendas for what we're going to talk about that day. It's just kind of like, what does everybody bring to the table? It's like you're hanging out with your friends, you're at the lunch table in high school, and everybody has had different experiences all week, and they all have different interests, so they all bring different things to the table. They're like, ooh, look here, check this out. I got this new action figure this week, or ooh, cool, I got this new book, or I'm reading this new book, or I got this new comic, or did you see that new movie, or did you see that new TV series? So, you know, if people want to say that, you know, we're not really a gaming channel or whatever, it's like, well, they're kind of sort of accurate, because I mean, it's like we don't just hammer gaming every day. The only program that I have on my channel that is game focused exclusively is our Dungeons and Discussions, which runs during the summer months. And that's pretty much it. I mean, everything else is just kind of like catch as catch can. So, but with that in mind, we do have some gamer stuff today. We have quite a bit of gamer stuff today. And we have some video gamer stuff today. And we have some pop culture stuff today. So, we really are hitting it on all 8 cylinders, I guess. So let's bring on the panel, including our special guest, the basic expert. Hey, John.
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, I am happy to have you on. And we have Ironcaster. I wasn't sure you were going to make it.
I may or may not have been kind of pulled into a game. I almost got isekai'd,
You almost got isekai'd? Damn, We have Mr. Grimm, the problem degenerate. Apparently. That's you.
Potato.
En Victor.
Hoi iedereen, welkom bij de Week in Geek.
Hi. And Aries, we have Mr. Not Scaly Greg.
Mr. Clicky.
Yes, Jesus. Oh my God. All right. So shit I do want to talk about today. Why don't we just start off with some light comedy, shall we? Yes. Now, I have not actually watched this. I'm just kind of going on what I've been hearing. But since I don't have the Disney Channel anyway, I guess it doesn't matter. But this is brought to you by our dear friend and compatriot, the Echo Chamberlain. And I think you'll all enjoy this.
When your series has no stars, writers far up their own art, high on smelling their own farts. It's a soul curse. Kathleen's male feminist screams himself in jerking fist. Cowboy had COVID in jizz. It's a soul curse.
Okay, so I have not necessarily heard good things about this. Most people are just kind of saying it's meh.
I've watched it.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Well, I will let you go ahead and talk about it then.
Well, apparently you had to have seen Star Wars Rebels, which was an animated series, which I have not seen and don't want to see. And I'm not going to see Star Wars Clone Wars, and I'm not going to see... I started watching Obi-Wan, and I didn't like that. And Andor, I didn't get into that. And the last season of Mandalorian didn't get into that. So basically the past 20 Star Wars things I didn't give a shit about at all. So
pretty much all of it then.
But apparently, in order to really get into the show, you need to have watched all that stuff to get all the little references and side characters. And there's a bunch of characters from that animated show Rebels, which is supposed to be really, really good. Maliki, who shows up in our chat from time to time, likes it a lot. But I watched it, and I thought it was really boring. And it had a Tumblr original character, purple-haired Mary Sue girl who's like a lesbian, and also she's really good with the lightsaber, and she's a mechanical genius and a pilot. So I'm just like, oh my God. And then people were correcting me when I complained about this, and it's like, oh, that person's in Rebels. Oh, they're a great character. I'm like, I haven't watched Rebels. How is the average person going to get anything out of Ahsoka if they haven't watched Rebels? So just go watch Rebels. Don't watch Ahsoka. Watch this.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Watch Rebels. It is good.
Yeah, I've heard it's good, but if you don't watch Rebels and you watch this instead, thinking you're going to see a great Star Wars thing, you're just going to be like, just staple my ball sack to the ceiling, because this sucks.
Yeah, sort of the biggest downside is that there's effectively 10 seasons of TV show that this is a sequel to. This is more of the similar sort of fault of what Marvel's been doing with their streaming shows is that they're tying things together. and it's like I'm like, look, ultimately, I want something Luke Skywalker. I don't want a Luke Skywalker cameo. They're not giving me what I want, so I have no desire to see it ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll get one eventually.
Well, when they did give us something about a legacy character, it sucked ass too. Like the Boba Fett show was awful. Mandalorian was way better than Boba Fett, and that's because I've said this before. It's because Mandalorian was originally supposed to be Boba Fett, but Disney had no faith in giving it to Boba Fett, and then it did really well. And then Boba Fett happened, but they already gave all his personality traits to the Mandalorian, so they had to give him new stuff, and it sucked.
Oh wow, Thoth. That you watched the first 2 episodes. It's terrible, almost as bad as Obi-Wan. Almost 3 out of 10. And I have watched all the animated trash. Wow.
Yeah, it looks.
I've got a coworker who's like, I don't care. I just want a good story. It's like, yeah, but is a good story that's being told well?
There's like these scenes where there's, I guess it's a scene from the end of Rebels where it's showing like all the heroes, but like in this movie they bring it back and it's like this giant like artistic mural that people are looking at, and it looks like a 5e deviant art party like
Yeah.
illustration, and it's like really bad, but it's like in live action, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, why are these people like, why is this in this multi-million-dollar thing? And then, so if I point it out, people, oh, that was in Rebels. It was in Rebels. I'm like, God damn it. I didn't watch Rebels. Like, why would they make this huge, like, frontlining show based on the fact that you had to have watched something that ended 4 years ago? I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, it
I'll
was
watch
like 10
Rebels. I've heard it's
seasons.
good, but I haven't watched it.
I don't understand.
It's ultimately kind of the bigger problem of Disney is that they've gone so hard for synergy with all their brands that you don't get anything standalone anymore. I mean, heck, even when Rebels was out, they were then plugging it into the other stuff by having Darth Vader show up, and then we're gonna go bring in Darth Maul, and we're gonna go to Tatooine, and we're gonna meet Obi-Wan. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it's a galaxy. I don't want to go meet the neighbors, the same batch of neighbors with every single city block. No.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell it's Star Wars unless we bring a legacy character into the show, right?
Well, Tatooine was the farthest place away from anything, so naturally everyone stops by for tea and crumpets.
Yeah.
I think Tatooine must be the center of the Star Wars universe at
Yeah,
this
pretty
point.
much.
Everything that is anything happens on that damn planet.
Yep.
And if you're watching the original trilogy, you just assume it's just this no place backwater desert planet that no one wants to go to. But yeah, everyone goes there.
Well, didn't people get mad at you recently because you said you don't like the Disney Star Wars stuff in one of your recent videos?
Well, it wasn't a recent video. I have a video series on the West End Games first edition D6 Star Wars, and I had made it like an offhand comment that like I don't care for Disney Star Wars. And, I view the WEG series as like, or the WEG games is like, hey, like make your own canon, make your own Star Wars adventure. It's probably going to be better than anything Disney's going to make. And someone didn't like that. It's just like an offhand comment. And they gave me a long, like Russian novel length comment about, how I'm a bad person. And critics like Disney Star Wars, so I should like it. And
yeah,
appealing to critics is like the worst thing you can possibly do to try and get me to like something. So
Yeah.
This summer, watch Ahsoka. Critics give it 9 out of 10 dicks in the mouth.
3 hot wet kisses.
Now is the
Friend of
winter of
mine's
our
been-
discontent, in which we
friend of mine's
look
been
at-
running the same Star Wars campaign since the 80s.
Yeah.
The
Awesome.
D6 system. He just set it in a different quadrant and ignored everything. So
Yeah.
that worked for
look,
him.
the poor Ironcaster, he got the Fantasy Flight Games one.
Well, like I'd show you my shelf. I'd show you the shelf that has like almost every book. Like I actually like this system. This like, and yes, this is coming out like after Disney bought it. Like, I still don't like the Disney stuff.
Oh, L wins the comment today. Thoth WEG didn't use 1-to-1 time, so it's bad.
No, just no.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm really not surprised that Ahsoka is just I mean, the characters look cool. I mean, I like all the chicks with the hair. I mean, I'm always happy to look at hot chicks, and apparently you get a really good view of that one chick's ass the entire show, a lot. So,
Right.
yeah.
That's what Rule 34
ass,
is for.
okay.
I don't need a show.
Yeah, it's
See,
ass.
and here's the thing. Here's the thing that's weird to me. It's like, you can make a kick-ass show that appeals to everybody that's based on something that those people might not have seen. Let's look at The Legend of Vox Machina, right? That's supposed to be, that's a great show.
It is a great show.
You don't need to have watched Critical Role, 5 seasons of Critical Role, to get into that show. Like, it's not necessary. And that's where I think they really fail with Ahsoka. It's like, they're really banking on you having this long, storied history of all their Star Wars stuff before this.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do it that way.
It's fun to have member berries. People like that shit. Like, it's like, oh, I watch every episode of Rebels. I recognize this stuff. But,
everybody watches. Everybody remembers Rebels. Everybody remembers Rebels. So of course we can put out Ahsoka.
Well, I'm saying is like member berries are fine, but don't hinge your whole show on them.
Exactly. Oh my God! Look at Cerulean Rex. Where have you been, sir? We got you out of the woodwork just to come back and hang out with us again. I'm so glad to see you, dude.
He grew that beard all the time since he's last been on.
He's always had that beard. He's always been really cool though. He was one of the few people who got killed with me and a few of the others when we played Giant Lands under. Oh God, what's his name? Anyway, yeah, he killed us. It was sad.
Do you think it's the Marvelization, kind of how this whole cinematic universe thing, it's got to spill into Star Wars, and like we can't just have like a self-contained Star Wars show, like because Mandalorian kind of started like that, it seemed like it was a self-contained sort of thing, but then they got
Jim Ward.
They got to branch out into all this other stuff and interconnect stuff, and now you got to keep up with 10 different TV shows and 4 different movies in order to know what's going on.
You know what? I think it's because their Disney is dying and they're not making any money and all of their stuff sucks and everyone knows it sucks. So they're not taking any risks. They're playing it as safe as what they think is safe, is to just tie everything into something that's been successful in the past. If it's been successful in the past, this must be successful, right? So I think that's probably their mindset.
They can't even do that right though, because like they shit on Luke,
Of course.
Any legacy established thing, like they have zero respect for. So it's weird.
What I suspect it is that there's guys up at the top, the big guys with the money and the suits who don't have time. They don't understand the properties. They've never read any of that shit. They don't know anything about it. But they're just savvy enough to know some of the original characters. It's kind of like, if you ask them, it's like, Luke Skywalker. Yeah, I remember that guy. Why don't you put Luke Skywalker in something? And that's their whole involvement with whatever's going on. In the meantime, the guy down there who's in hiring and stuff like that is like, okay, in order to fill this position, your pronouns must be this, your hair must be dyed this color, you must weigh over this amount, and also, how do you feel about working under a desk?
I mean, part of the problem is after Disney bought Star Wars and we're trying to get the money rolling in, they thought they could just import the Marvel formula over to Star Wars. Remember, they were like, we're going to do all these like standalone Star Wars films, just sort of tie in, sort of fill in these little gaps. We were going to do a Obi-Wan movie. We were going to do a Boba Fett movie. We were going to do all these things, and then the fans said no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the worst thing that Disney has done is make me not like Star Wars anymore, which sucks because I've got Star Wars theatrical one-sheets hanging in my room. I used to love the original trilogy. I used to love Star Wars, and they've ruined it for me. I don't care about it anymore. It's oversaturated. It's Star Wars sucks now, and that sucks for me because I used to be a big Star Wars nerd.
Yeah, I used to love Star Trek. I used to love Star Wars. I used to love Dune. I used to love all of the, I used to love The Punisher. I used to love comics in general. I used to love all these things, and they have succeeded in just destroying everything I loved in one form or fashion. I'm just, the only safe haven we have anymore is the damn, the Japanese, because they're, over there in Japan, and they're like, oh, let's change our shit. Fuck you.
Well, it looks like Dune might be safe for a little while longer, but then again, they had the delayed Dune 2 till next year, so it'll be a while.
Yeah.
I think they're all trying to replicate the Marvel model, like we said, but the Marvel model is it's so saturated. It's the same as paying for an online game subscription or something.
Oh,
right. It's like a subscription service, and everyone else is looking at this model and saying, "Wow, look at all this money that Marvel made." But even if you buy into one of these things, you can only really afford to follow one of them. Right, you go and see the films, you do the subscription fee to see the series. Maybe there's tie-in books and comic books as well. You can't follow another one, so it kind of sucks all the air out of the room in the same way like World of Warcraft did for MMOs.
Mm-hmm.
Right, there's barely any room for anyone else to be around, so nothing really works there. Also, I think even Marvel's fucked it up, but they got lucky.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember back in the early 2000s? Everyone was above about transmedia, where the idea was that you would have your movies, but then there would be other material that you could go and buy if you wanted, and it would tie in and maybe fill out some of the backstory. But the key idea behind transmedia was you didn't need to go and seek out this other material. You didn't have to, but you could if you wanted to. So like there was the Matrix is probably the first big one that did this. You had the Matrix films, sure, but then you had the Animatrix, which filled in some lore and stuff on the background. You had comic books, you had the computer games where you played the crew of that other ship, all of that kind of stuff. But you didn't need to know about any of that to watch the films.
Yeah, also Aliens versus Predator, that was a big one.
Yeah, they ruined that one too.
Tons of comics, games. The game's excellent. Comics, hit and miss, some of them are excellent. But, they really went for that as well. They didn't get into TV, but that's coming. There's an Aliens show coming on FX.
That may be why Dead by Daylight is pushing out the Alien as a new set piece, and Hunter and Ripley as a new character in there. But it just hurts when you see everything that you love just being commodified into crap. Yes, Victor.
I've been wanting to say something. I think it's not just the suits, because you blame the suits. I think it's also a good deal the writers, because today's writers, they don't care about the source material. They want to put their own mark on stuff. And we've seen it with The Witcher. We saw it with the Halo TV show. We've seen it with all this stuff. They throw away the source material. They actively mock the source material sometimes, and they just want to do their own shit. They just want to tell their own fucking hack stories, because they're all failed novelists probably that just got into screenwriting because I don't know. And like that is, I think, a big part of it. And the suits actively hire these people, so they kind of are like a symbiotic relationship. So
you also stop the producers and executives. They're the ones who are commissioning scripts. They're the ones who are hiring these people. It is people in these producer roles.
Yeah, and the suits don't want to take any risks, so they won't back any of these people to produce new IP for the most part. They just want to return to the same things over and over again, but that just wears them out. So.
And you're right, Kling. You can tell that. Like the Halo TV show, it definitely felt like they took like a script for some shitty sci-fi thing they were planning, and they were like, let's just slap Halo on top of it. We'll call the main character Master Chief, and that's basically it. So yeah.
Well, I think we've finished beating that dead horse. So somebody can tell us that we can't build our channel on complaining. Anyway, well, I'm sorry, but I mean, it's like I tell people, it's like, okay, we do try to stay a little bit positive, or as positive as we can be on Week in Geek. But yeah, we are kind of like the garden hose. It's like, you turn the garden hose on, the shitty water comes out first, and then you get the good water. So we're just getting the shit out.
To end that segment on a positive note, then though, like Greg was talking about how he doesn't like Star Wars anymore. I mean, I think the nice thing is that you can still watch the original trilogy. The expanded universe is still out there. You can go buy the expanded universe novels and comics and stuff like that. The old games are there. So like that Star Wars that kind of grew to that point before we, didn't like it anymore. It's still there, and you can ignore Disney stuff if it bothers you. Thankfully,
you can make your own choice.
Halloween franchise.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for the despecialized trilogy. Because, I mean, these companies, they will try their best to erase what they originally came out with as well. And that's another problem. I can't watch the originals unaltered, non-ridiculous Star Wars without the despecialized trilogy, which I have on Blu-ray. I really enjoy it.
And you can make your own stories. Get West End Game Star Wars or any Star Wars game of your choice. There's a D20 one. I think there's a 5e one that you can get for free. There's all these Star Wars tabletop games, and make your own stories. That's what I do. Like, I'm still mad that they got rid of Lucas's original idea for like the post-trilogy stuff. So when I want Star Wars games, I take a lot of those like ideas because like I love that stuff, and Disney didn't give it to me, so I'll do it myself.
Well, I mean, luckily the fan 4K projects are out there if you know where to look, so you can go back and get the originals. I mean, fortunately, there's no official route, no official means to get them, but they are out there.
Yep.
Well, anyway, moving along. Yes, Elle, I do actually have the Banana Splits movie. I didn't realize. Yeah, it was kind of FNAF without being FNAF, wasn't it? It's pretty terrible. I mean, I am kind of curious to see what the FNAF movie is going to look like compared to Banana Splits, but anyway. So, all right. The next big thing. So Baldur's Gate 3, I think most of us have played it, and if we haven't played it, you definitely can't swing a dead cat in the room without seeing a Baldur's Gate 3 post on Twitter or on social media of some kind, because it's massive. The sales are just huge right now. I think I actually posted up the sales for reference, and it's like, 5 million, I think, up on Steam so far?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 2.5 million during early access, 2.7 million since August. So yeah, it's 5 million units that has sold so far. It's massive. And what's Baldur's Gate 3? Stop.
Certainly made a shit ton more money than the movie, which I just watched tonight, and it was okay.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, it's on Prime for free now. I might actually watch it. But yeah,
I just passed out last night watching it, so it's kind of funny how it seems like someone else did that. Just the timing on that.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like Baldur's Gate 3, not just because it's a good game, but also because it's an interesting look at the 5e kind of methodology without actually quite being 100% 5e. It's got some really good content to it. It also has some kind of notorious content, kind of like this.
Roar.
Yeah.
Which you can easily ignore, by the way.
Well, I'm gonna go talk to my new girlfriend.
Thanks, Joe. I definitely needed to see you. Yeah. No.
Hey, kid. I thought you said bear.
Yes. However, it also has some really cool stuff like this.
Damage move in Baldur's Gate 3 has just been discovered, with enough damage to take down just about anything with one hit. The secret is to first get an owlbear high up above your enemy. You can use the crate stacking technique to get some height for this.
Yes.
Then cast Enlarge on this big boy to make him even bigger.
Yes.
Then with Crushing Flight, a move that's immune to fall damage, you can do as much as 800 or even 1100 points of damage. The move has since been nicknamed Owlbear from the top rope, likening it to the pro wrestling move of when a wrestler jumps down onto their opponent from the top rope of the wrestling ring. Is there an even more powerful move that's yet to be discovered? Stay tuned.
I have PTSD from playing 3rd edition and having all the 3rd edition like rules lawyers do shit like that in my game.
Yeah.
I made a peasant railgun.
Peasant railgun.
Yeah, that was a thing. Yes.
Yes, that was a thing. And it's getting a lot of controversy too, because we've got people up on Twitter who, you know, I won't name names because you know, I don't want to get anybody attacked or anything. But yes, they posted like this. And can we get somebody to read this in their best snarky voice, or shall I do it?
Either way, it's going to be cringy.
Oh, go ahead. Go, Greg. You got to read this one.
No, I refuse.
Okay, fine.
The racism in Baldur's Gate is genuinely so fucking hard on me. Playing a tiefling as a black person is brutal. Your party members antagonize you. The game antagonizes you. And the plot positions you as the bad guy if you don't help the druids call you slurs. Like, if I don't help the druids, who's going to? Execute a child of my race for being my race. I lose access to Karlach. I save the druids. They insinuate I'm a disease. If I fail the druid quest, a massacre of my people is on my hands. What the fuck? I come home from a long day of microaggressions and masking, and then my guard is immediately back up. I stressed that I'm making a bad decision, not because Lazelle keeps threatening to kill me in my sleep for having horns. And for white players, this is just fantasy. I didn't come to this much traction off this. I like this game. It's a good game. Everyone's got to feel different. But if you're white and you're taking a moral stance here, the game that's louder than BIPOC, then consider you're doing that to feel good about yourself. Y'all be easy.
Yeah.
Expert almost fell out of his fucking chair laughing.
Well, the microaggression part, like,
The
geez,
microaggression part, yes.
fucking take some breaths, girl.
And yeah, that druid that's responsible for that. For one, she's not trying to execute a child. That kind of happens by accident if you fail your walls. But you find out that she's evil. She's in league with evil druids. Like, she's a villain. Sorry, villains do villainous things. Who would have expected that in a fantasy universe, villains are villainous?
And black people aren't half demon, right?
No.
Where are you drawing this?
It says more. It says more about them than the game.
Yes.
To assume that.
I mean,
and racism's a real thing. It's a source of story and conflict. It should, you know, and there's all these fantasy races that are genuinely different species. So why should you?
Well, this is a world where archdemons are literally a thing. They will show up, do horrible stuff to you, steal your soul, eat your babies, murder your family, do all sorts of horrible things. So maybe there's a good reason why people are wary of seeing like basically half demons running around, especially when all of a sudden there's like a whole group of them that just escaped the hells and they're just like chilling, and you're like, oh, what the fuck is this?
I mean, you know, I the first time I actually found the Tiefling Sanctuary, is what I'm calling it, in the game, I thought, this has got to be some kind of a parody by the devs. This is them making a statement about how everybody runs Tieflings, right? Because, you know,
may or may not be playing through as a Tiefling.
You may or may not be playing through as a Tiefling?
And a Warlock.
You're inferior, you know that, right? Because clearly Elf is the superior race.
Look, I figured if it's basically playing 5e, I might as well play the 5e stereotype. It's gonna be a Tiefling Warlock.
Ironcaster, are you culturally appropriating? Because you're not of the right racial lineage to play that.
Well,
you seem to forget that I'm Native American, so it's natural for me to be doing red face.
Well,
oh, damn!
Are you suggesting Ironcaster is not evil? Because I disagree.
Which race would be the Native Americans in D&D? Changelings
orcs.
or not changelings? The what the fuck are they called? Something with with the ones that are like kind of like lycanthropes, but not fully. Can't remember the names.
From
Shifters.
the Magic Punk world.
Yeah.
Is it Shifters?
Yeah.
There were Minotaurs in World of Warcraft. Randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's Minotaurs in this too, and they fucking kick your ass. They suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's like everybody in the world is coming out to try to kick this thing or to use it as a springboard for their shit. Because it's like the Mary Sue has come out and talked about how the hag is a stereotype for Jewish people because of its appearance. And I'm just kind of like, you know, the 6% of me that's European Jewish doesn't feel the stereotype. However, it does feel that stereotype when you go back and you look at the Ahsoka show and you have that one guy who is a Jewish actor and yet he portrays the snivelingest, most cowardly, money-grubbing bastard in the entire thing. And it's just kind of like, you know, Disney, you might want to rethink that one.
Yeah. Well, the argument's always stupid. It's like, well, you know, they have big noses and they steal babies, and that's based on like German fairy tales from the 1600s, and those were based on like hatred of Jews. And it's like, well, 99.9% of modern peoples don't fucking think that way. They don't even know that. So, like, obviously, it's not harmful. Like, if harmful means that, like, you know, it's like a thing that is still out there and people still think. Well, most people don't. So, ergo, it's not harmful.
Yeah, I think.
Like some of those things just get lost over time. So it's like any meaning that had is gone. Like it doesn't mean these things anymore. So like, can we accept that things have changed?
Yeah, if you tell me like
1,000 years ago.
If you tell me that gnomes were originally based on the Dutch because we wore like silly colored hats and we were greedy, I'd be like, okay. Like, yeah, well, that sounds like what something the Germans would do in 1550. Like,
I don't understand how anyone can. I mean, who can be harmed by a video game except for very specific instances of, you know, epilepsy with flashing lights and things like that. Well, the last video game that psychologically damaged me was Getting Over It. Fuck that game.
Well, I mean, I guess it's like everybody who wasn't tough enough to go and get into the MMA ring and fight or something. Instead, they're like, you know, their big struggle is finding things to be oppressed by. I mean, you know,
I think the Basic Expert talked about this, and Crafty Matt and some other people posted. It's just like all these people who are complaining are just now encountering what D&D is actually supposed to be, because that's what Baldur's Gate is, and it doesn't fudge dice rolls, and it has like evil races, and it has like evil monsters, and it has actual adventure and dungeons, and like all this stuff that 5th edition actually had when it first came out, and it's morphed into this other thing, and now everyone is like has no idea what to like. All these tourists have no clue when they finally encounter what D&D is actually how you're supposed to play it.
Exactly.
Technically, I said that, and John just made a video of it, but yes.
Okay, Mercurius Olicus, thank you very much for your Australian $5.
Nice.
Greetings and felicitations. And by the way, I do want to bring this out really quick, guys. I did actually get my first paycheck from YouTube this month, so I'm very happy. Thank you very much to all of my subscribers and all the people who buy super chats and super stickers. That's very appreciated. Thank you. I appreciate it very, very much. That's currently the only way you really have to monetize me. So if you do like what you see every week, please consider grabbing a super sticker, super chat. You know, I'm happy to highlight them. Eventually, I'm going to start building all these things up and putting them up and build a membership thingy, because I need to start building up membership tiers for everybody, because I'm missing out on money doing that. And, anyway, but
it's true.
Congrats,
true, though. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm still not monetized. So. And as much as somebody else thinks that, you know, my channel will just, you know, go away, it's like I have been at this for 3 years. Okay, even if I get like only 100 subs a year, I will make it to 1,000. So I will make it. But yeah, Merfolk Latino. That's right, Ironcaster. That's right. Yes. Yeah. I've
been saying that for a while.
Yeah.
I actually love that they give every race, like, they impact the games differently. So if you play like a Lolth Drow, the early part of the game is actually easier because all the villains will automatically like defer to you because their leader is like, one of their leaders is like this Drow chick. So they see another Drow and it's like, well, obviously he must be a bigwig. So like all the goblins, like you don't have to like roll for anything. They're like, oh, sorry, sir or ma'am, like, oh, you can go by and stuff like that. And I love that shit.
Mercurius, I have considered Patreon. The only thing is you have to be able to offer like some services for Patreon, and I'm just kind of like, I couldn't just sit there and say, please give me money because I'm broke.
Yeah, you can do that. You can just say subscribe to support me. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fine.
I
could use Subscribestar too. I use Subscribestar. I like it.
Same.
I feel like I don't want to take anybody's money unless I have something concrete to give them back.
You do your stream.
Yeah, you have a show.
Oh, okay. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Because for me this is fun. I really don't want to think about streaming as a job. I want to keep it fun, and people tell me, oh, you should be doing this and this and this to get more growth, and I'm just kind of like, well, I don't care about that though. I just want to have a good time.
There's no harm in asking for money. If people don't want to give it to you, they won't.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
okay.
Why not?
Oh, all right. I just don't want to feel like I'm begging or anything. But anyway. So yeah, but I mean the thing is, with Baldur's Gate 3, it's not enough that we have these oppressed people coming out of the woodwork to scream and cry about it, but other gaming companies are coming out of the woodwork to scream and cry about it because Baldur's Gate 3 does not have microtransactions. It doesn't have like a lot of extra paid-on add-on content or anything else. I do think there will be DLC in the future, but for the most part, it's a complete game from start to finish. It's a complete experience. You don't have to pay for extra skins. You don't have to pay to unlock a certain race or class, or a character or anything else. It's a complete experience.
I'd pay for some more dick options.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
That's what Nexus mods is for. You can
actually
you can download a mod where you can give your character like a 2-foot big schlong.
That's true. That's true. And nothing would please me more than if everybody on the in Twig actually built a character and we got together to stream that once a week in character as play our characters. We do all the funny voices and everything.
I'm waiting to get it on console, so unless it's got crossplay, sorry.
I don't know if it will or not. But
yeah, it's a complete game. It's got hundreds of hours of content. It was relatively bug-free when it launched, and they've since dropped huge patches. They dropped a patch a couple days ago. Like the patch notes were too big for Steam. Like you had to click on the site, and then there were like just as many patch notes beneath what Steam had. So it was thousands of patch notes. So they're actually on top of all the bugs and all that stuff. And other companies are just jealous because they've been coasting by these last years with just shit unfinished games that they ask full price for.
One other thing of note as well is it's also DRM free, which is a big plus for anyone who wants to be able to own their games.
Yeah.
Yes, big time. This just it's a game that gives you everything. It runs well. It plays well. It has hundreds of hours of content. It's fun.
Yeah.
And the other nice things about it is there are so many different ways to accomplish all your tasks. You're not necessarily locked into doing everything one way.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of the stacking crates and doing the owlbear elbow drop. I don't know who came up with that, but I salute you, sir.
Well, even awesome. Story-wise, you can handle the story in so many ways. The smallest detail, you do something and that's whatever, and then 50 hours later, that suddenly has this huge effect on the story. Something you do in the beginning area and the Nautiloids, you run into 30 hours later. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's just funny. It's just people are latching onto it because it's the new hot thing. So, you know, you've got all the blue-haired people coming out of the woodwork to scream and cry about it. You've got all the other companies coming out of the woodwork to scream and cry about it and tell you, this is not going to be the way all games are. You should not expect this. And I'm kind of like, we should, though. That's exactly what we should get.
Tell you who hasn't latched onto it. Wizards.
Yeah.
They've done practically fuck all to do with it. They put more effort behind the film, and the game's made more money very quickly.
Didn't the Hasbro CEO brag about how much money it's made or something like that, though?
Probably, but they haven't done anything to cash in on it.
Yeah.
If Wizards was smart, they would see its popularity, they would see how it plays, they would see like what the story is, and they would be like, you know what, we're gonna go back to the more 2014 style 5e. We're gonna like go back to adventure and dungeon crawling. We're gonna go back to the Forgotten Realms or whatever other like canon setting that we had, instead of fucking Strixhaven and fucking all this other nonsense that nobody cares about. Like, yeah.
They can't do that though because they've already invested so much in this path that they're on. Like they can't backtrack on that, you know.
No,
and that's what I not have invested too much into their writers or artists because they're not that great.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mentioned in my video though. Like when Larian negotiated the deal for this game, it was in 2017, and you know, 5e was very different back then. You know, it was still new, and back then, you know, I was still running 5e. And I was running dungeon crawls in it, and I was running you know, your stereotypical sword and sorcery adventures in it. So, you know, I said in my video, obviously Larian built the game based off that premise, and I think that's why a lot of people are having a hard time with it now, both mechanically and just like as far as these like themes that are in the game, like the racism, the supposed racism, and these you know, interesting storytelling elements that they always have problems with. Because that's what it was before they started pandering to people that don't play games.
And honestly, I think this is a better. This is going to bring more people to 5th edition than Honor Among Thieves did.
Yeah,
you know, because more people are going to investigate the D&D game because of Baldur's Gate 3. In fact, it's like Disciple of Logger says. He says, you know, why would anyone bother with the VTT? And I have heard from multiple people that the VTT is in danger because of this.
Yeah,
it is a good time for anyone who does want to go into 5e because I think like every Wizards of the Coast 5e book is currently on sale on Amazon. Like some of them are like less than $20.
I just hope that people that get into it, they stay with the 3 core books. Maybe you get like, I don't know, a Xanatar's Guide. Maybe get some of the early adventures like Tomb of Annihilation, and stick with that. Don't go beyond Tasha's. Don't go to Radiant Citadel. Don't look at Spelljammer, like all that stuff.
And
I mean, they're bringing Fendelver back with like apparently gender swapped NPCs, and they're rewriting.
Oh, and really quick, I want to shout out to Abomination AJ. The 6% Northern African part of my heritage says, "What up, my fellow orc?" But
oh my god!
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna put that on the chalkboard. It's going up there, number 3.
Yep.
It's on the bingo sheet.
It's on the bingo sheet. Yes. But yes.
Orc is our words. You're supposed to say orca.
No, it's orca to you, sir, but it's orc to me.
No, I am black too. Remember?
Oh, that's right. Yes. Kringe has made you honorarily black. Yes.
Well, no, so did Abomination AJ and Left Eye Ego.
Oh, that's right.
You're black too, Vic. Like,
yeah, that's right. You got to get your repatriation papers and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, all I can say, man, is just. I really hope that more studios will take a look at BG3 and say, you know what, maybe we should rethink our strategy and maybe try to make stuff more like they did because it was a success.
Yeah, we haven't heard much about the new Elder Scrolls in a long time. I remember seeing one preview.
Yeah, it's like we just got that little snippet years ago, and it's kind of like...
well, he just said, what's his face, the main guy? Todd Howard, is it? Yeah. He said that the planned release date is like 2028 or something, so it's going to be a while.
God.
Well, all their attention's been right now on Starfinder or
Starfield.
Starfield.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about Starfield here in a little bit, but I want to give our guest a little bit of time to talk about this next thing. Yes. It's time. Let's get to that gaming portion. Akahuitl.
Obsidian blood.
Yeah. This thing is cool, man.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Because first off, it's like if I want to look up something, you know, all I gotta do is hit the bookmark, and then if there's like something in there, you know, that I want to break down, it's all broken down so I can get to it quickly.
Yeah,
well, I know that doesn't sound like a big deal.
I like hyperlinked PDFs, so
yeah,
put in the extra effort to make sure it's hyperlinked internally. So,
the artwork is sweet. Everything is very cleanly written. I like that. But I also noticed that you have some alternative stuff in there. What I like. See if I can dig it out. Where it was. Was it in the combat section? I think I saw it.
Well, I totally changed the way experience points work. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. But...
no, I was actually talking about how combat actually works. With everybody has a different chart.
Oh, that's just their attack matrices. Yeah.
Yeah, the attack matrix is cool.
You know, that's pretty typical for like it's based off of white box OD&D, so I think it's in the it's past adventuring. It's in the combat section.
Okay, so
let's see. It's on. It's
attack rolls. Yeah. So yeah, every class has its own attack matrix. But then you also have the optional rule weapon versus armor, which, man, that's in depth. I like that, though.
That was in Greyhawk. I mean, I'm mostly taking the rules from the 3 LBBs, but I like this weapon versus armor stuff. And, you know, if you're running 3 LBBs pre Greyhawk, pre Supplement 1, you were probably, if you're not using the alternative combat system, you were using Chainmail, which has like a weapon versus armor attack matrix, and I'm a guy that likes that kind of stuff. I like this game. I like Traveler, you know, it has that similar kind of stuff. So, you know, I think that kind of stuff is super neat and makes players kind of choose their weapons and load out a little more thoughtfully, like what they're going to encounter. So.
I also liked your healing system, which is basically that you regain 1 hit point per day, but 4 weeks of rest can regain all your hit points no matter what they are.
Yeah, I think I got that from Finch from FMAG. I think that's the rule. I think that's the rule in FMAG, and I like that. That white box is just, to me, I've really fallen in love with it as a system. I know my name's the basic expert, but like, white box is just an addition or a version of the game, a rule set that I just really love, and it just overlaid really well over this, because I was really struggling in writing this. I've rewritten this game probably like 2 or 3 times in the 2 years that I've worked on it, and white box just clicked for me. I don't know why, but it just did. So all that white box OD&D stuff just worked really well for it. And I can't explain exactly why, but it just did.
I mean, the rules are definitely tight, but you know, for some of the folks in the chat who might not even be familiar with what this is, can you describe what the overall theme of the game is, like what the Dungeon Master is expected to present to the players, and like the challenges that the players might face in the game?
Yeah, so it's an OSR game. It uses, again, original Dungeons and Dragons rules. So it's an old school rule system. But you're playing as like an Aztec warrior during the Aztec Empire. So this is pre-conquest of the Spanish. I was going to add the Spanish in, but you know, there's like 200 or 300 years of history before the Spanish even arrived, where the Aztecs entered the Valley of Mexico and became the dominant culture within the Valley of Mexico. And so, you know, there's a lot of adventuring to be had there, and even without the Spanish. And the Spanish, when they conquered it, was only like, it took them like 2 years to do it. So that's not a lot of campaign time, in my opinion, to cover. So yeah, you're essentially playing as like an eagle warrior, a jaguar warrior, an Atomi mercenary, Nohali, which is like a sorcerer and shapeshifter, kind of a an Aztec druidic type character. And the way you got to play this game, because honestly, the Aztec morality is so different from our own, obviously, is that you're going to be essentially running this like an evil campaign. And what I mean by that is you're going out, you're trying to conquer other city-states, villages. You might be encountering monsters of myth along the way, but your primary opponent is going to be other humans. And it kind of ties into the XP system. I just decided to lean into it, where some friends of harmfully called it Hearts for XP. So, you're out there, you're trying to capture enemies, and the more you get like triple, or I think 5 times, I changed the rule to 5 times the essentially XP value of an opponent if you can capture them alive and bring them back for slavery or sacrifice. So because that's slavery, that's what they did. The Aztec Empire functioned on slavery and blood. So that's how warriors advanced themselves in society, was capturing foes and bringing them back for sacrifice or slavery. So that's how you advance yourself as well. So I call them status points instead of XP. And status points kind of function both as like your advancement, but also your money. It's like a metric of your social clout, pretty much. So you use it to advance yourself, but you also use it to use your social clout to get equipment, followers, anything like that. Because you're going to want to probably have hirelings and stuff like that underneath you. Build a temple, build a stronghold, all that kind of stuff that you typically get in D&D. You use your status points for too, but it's also like you got to make a choice. Like, do I want to spend it on leveling up my character, or do I want to use it for followers, or to build my temple, or whatever it is that you're doing? So,
do you have like a cliff notes of cultural touchstones in it?
Oh yeah, there's a whole section on like law, economics. Like there's a whole like setting section where I tried to like give you because obviously it's such an alien culture to us. So like you're not going to know everything. I wanted to give you as a player, as a referee, enough information to feel like you could competently run the setting. So I try to do the best I can in that regard.
Nice.
Yeah, this section here. So
Yep.
I give you like some myths, list of gods, and what their like providence was, gender roles in society, the role of religion and different kinds of sacrifice, and the military, all that stuff. Anything you might need, like you could read this section and mine it for adventuring plot points, all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Yep.
I love it. I mean, just as a historian, this is great stuff. I always thought the best role-playing stuff, and I use Testament as an example, because Testament was probably about the best written historical role-play supplement I'd ever read. But if it can inspire you to learn actual history in order to make your settings better, or if it can add to your pre-existing knowledge of history or give you links to other things like that, it's always really, really great. And this is just awesome.
Wait a minute. What about certified gold bestseller Lion and Dragon?
Well, that
was
too.
pundit the whole time.
Yeah,
pundit the whole time. No. Hey, we like pundit. Oh, so
I'm just.
We tolerate pundit.
Yeah.
He said going on his show tomorrow.
No comment.
So does this fit into the Nacho SR?
Nacho SR.
I mean,
the Vato SR.
Nachos are made from corn chips, and maize was very sacred to the Aztec people. So yes.
Yes. Oh, God's a pleasure right there at the top. Da-da-da-da. There we go.
Can I ask you a non-game related question about the game?
Sure.
Did you, in your research of the culture and the history, did you come away with anything that was like shocking that you didn't expect from, like, exposure to this type of thing from like Apocalypto or pop culture depictions? Like, did you come away with like, holy shit, I didn't know about this? Like,
oh, that movie was not good.
That movie rules.
I mean, I guess like there's some little things. I've talked about this before. Like one funny thing that I learned was men in Aztec society did not chew gum. That was considered effeminate. So like only children could chew gum, women and prostitutes and old people, because old people are like, you could do whatever you want because you got to old age. So like you're gonna go to Mictlan and just take it easy before you have to go on that terrible journey through the afterlife. So you get to do whatever you want.
Interesting.
Before you go.
You chew all the gum you want, old man.
Yeah, you chew all the gum you want. Who cares? So the Aztec men did not chew gum. That was considered like effeminate. But other than that, like it was stuff I kind of already knew. I didn't really have like a I don't know what the term would be, like a misrepresentation in my mind, because I've always kind of been interested in this stuff. It's kind of been it's part of my ancestry. So, I've always had an interest in it since I was a kid. But I don't know. I mean, it was a pretty brutal thing, and it does shock, I think, maybe modern people that want to view like Aztec people or these people as like, like when the Spanish come, they want to view the Spanish as the bad guys and the Aztec as like these peaceful natives that, they were all sitting around the campfire singing Kumbaya. And it's like, nah, they were like, they were an empire. They were a slave empire, and their neighbors did not like them. The Tlaxcala Confederacy did not like them. They are some of the people that allied with the Spanish. And I mean, there's a reason why so many allied with them, because these guys were brutal. And, I try and convey that in the game, but I was a little surprised by exactly like how brutal, they could be. We all know like, oh yeah, they take them to the top of the pyramid and they cut their heart out and offer it to the gods. But, they would throw the body down the pyramid or like, eat the body or things like that. So it was brutal, crazy stuff.
Didn't they also have wasn't there like some sort of like sports game where they played with like the heads for a ball?
Yeah, that was Toluca. Sacred Ball Court.
I want to see somebody come up with a Comanche RPG in contrast to Coyote and Crow. So that goes over.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
You've got to be pretty fucking terrible for the Catholics to seem better.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I want to do with this, and it's going to sound ironic, but up until this, aside from Maztica, I think like the only real OSR D&D type stuff that we ever really had that dealt with this very much was way back when we had the Hidden Shrine of Tamochan, which was it was very heavily influenced by like Aztec and Mayan, but it wasn't obviously culturally correct in its own way.
Sure.
But what I would love to do is take that adventure and then run actual characters from this in that. I think it would be fun.
It would work.
It would work.
Yeah, I wanted to be like as accurate as I could. That's why I was trying to figure out ways of like, how do I ease Western audiences into this idea of like, you're playing an Eagle Warrior and you're going out and you're capturing people, you're bringing them back for sacrifice. And one thing I've discovered in playtesting is the players, they're totally fine with being evil. I mean that's not really surprising, but like in the playtest game, let's see, what have they done? They've burned down the markets of Texcoco. Captured some merchants and their guards and brought them back for sacrifice. And then they went and started a forest fire after they caused a war between Tenochtitlan and Texcoco. And, they had no problem burning down a whole forest and just slaughtering people wholesale. Like they really like accepted it. And it's funny because like, from the, like I said, when you're running, you have to run this as essentially an evil campaign. because from the outside in, like from a traditional RPG perspective, the things the players are doing are things that their characters in like a European fantasy traditional D&D game, they'd be fighting against these guys trying to stop them. But in this, like, you're heroic. You're a hero for bringing these people back for sacrifice. You're a hero for burning that part of the forest down and burning all the Tishkoko warriors to ash in there. So, you know, it's been this like interesting thing, and I'm glad I leaned into it, because I felt like if I had tried to soften it at all, it wouldn't have been as authentic, you know.
Oh, look at this. You can actually use soap to cure damage. So it's like, yes, folks, keeping clean actually heals you. I like it.
Yeah, for this, I went
like the BO isn't like armor?
No.
I'm looking at that word at number 3. How the fuck do you pronounce that? Like, what the fuck is that?
I honestly, I struggle with the pronunciation, so it'd be atlit lilatil liatil. I don't know, the TL. It's hard, man. Like,
Yes.
I don't expect people to get it. That's why I have like a pronunciation guide at the beginning, and I have like a glossary at the end to give you like an example of pronunciation, because Nuatl, the language, is pretty difficult. And I try to put stuff in parentheses where you know you could just say water outlet, you could just say soap.
You could say obsidian and blood.
Koyomatel. Yeah, a lot of these are words that are really similar to words that I grew up speaking and have forgotten much of. Yeah, Mishishin, Nanakatl.
If you really want to fuck people up, do ancient Wales next.
Yeah.
We can't pronounce the place names. You need like a pint of phlegm in your throat.
Yeah,
You would need the whole cover just for the title.
We need to go back in Bill and Ted's phone booth and kidnap Tolkien to do that.
It's true.
Maybe I would handle it.
I remember when you drew this.
Yeah, I did that one on one of my streams. So.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, came out good. Okay, so important stuff. When is it coming out? How much is it going to be? Where do I get the hardback? Because you know me, got to have hardback.
Well, I'm going to do a Kickstarter for it. So the book's done. Obviously, you can see it's done. I wanted, because this book is special to me. I've been working on it for a while, and it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. So I'm doing a Kickstarter, essentially like treating it as pre-order. So people don't have to worry about, is he going to finish the game? The game is done. But I want to do like a nice hardcover, like foil, like a embossed foil cover with like black and like a book, have a bookmark ribbon in it and everything. So I'm thinking for that one, the pledge will be pretty inexpensive. I'm looking at probably like $35 to maybe $40 at the most for that. And then it's going to, of course, be print on demand. I'm not sure exactly how much. It'll probably be something like $15. And then for digital, it'll probably be like 8 to 10, somewhere around there. Probably around 10. And I'm going to do the Kickstarter for it. It'll be fulfilled through partly drive-through I'm going to offer print-on-demand version of a pledge tier, and then there'll be the tier for the nice, offset print hard copy version. So that'll be launching soon. I'm trying to get more people on the pre-launch page and signed up and drum up, eyes on it and everything, because I want it to be successful. But if the Kickstarter fails, the book will still go on to print on demand on DriveThruRPG, my website, everywhere. So,
can we get the link to that then, and one of you guys can post that up for us?
Yeah, one second.
Yeah, because when I'm stuck in this mode, I can't see the chat or anything else. Otherwise, we lose this. And I want the chat to be able to keep being able to look at this.
Do the link in the private chat, so for someone who has the ability to.
Yeah. And then next year I'll have Makahitel Modon out. Which will be about the cartels, probably. I don't know.
It's time for the real Montezuma's revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the monster section now. There's a lot of crazy, terrible monsters that I found in Aztec lore. I made some up that were kind of on theme.
Chocolate chip snake.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cup snake.
Chocolate cup snake.
Oh,
yeah.
chocolate cup. I thought it said chocolate chip. I was like getting hungry
too.
for cookies.
Yeah.
Well, that snake will kill you. It drowns you in water. The Aztecs had a proclivity for monsters that would drag you underwater and drown you. So,
Did they have, not being a geographical expert, were there like crocodiles? Like they wouldn't have had.
yep, they had crocodiles. Kipakli
Treasure.
is like this mythical crocodile that was chopped up into little pieces in order to make the earth. They made it to like support. It is very similar to, I think, Babylonian or Sumerian mythology. I think there's a reptilian dragon that's chopped up to make the world, right?
Tiamat.
Tiamat, yeah. The Aztecs had a very similar story of like Kipakli that was chopped up. He was like this chaotic giant crocodile that was rampaging through the world. And the gods are like, yeah, we can't have this. So they chopped him up, turned him into parts of the earth. And maybe that's where crocodiles came from. I don't know. But
Well, this is cool. Kitali's star. Yeah. This is just some neat stuff. I love it because it seems so original and stuff like that. And it's, you know, and with things like this, it's like I always point out to people too. It's like, since it's pretty openly compatible, it's like, you know, even if you don't ever run this as a setting as it is, you can always take stuff from it. It's like, you could, I suppose, easily like take everything in here and just like make it a bunch of bad guys or apply it to a culture or something like that. And when the characters are adventuring there, they could always like be stealing stuff from these people.
Yeah. The page elements are good. The layout is good. Sans serif is always the correct choice, in my opinion, for this type of book.
well, I went with a Futura font that was very similar to, it might be the exact font that's used in the original Dungeons and Dragons, like three little books, and as well as AD&D. I wanted to like harken back to that feeling of it because it is white box. So
yeah, we do that as well.
Well, we have resources. We have a glossary. We have we have an index. Oh, thank you.
And the pages are hyperlinked, so if you can click on the page, and it'll take you to the page. Should be for the in the index.
Okay.
Yeah, just click on the page numbers, I guess.
Yeah, the page numbers, and it will take you to the page. So should work. I hope it works.
It's broken.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
No, it works.
There you go.
It works.
It works.
That was a lot
like
of work. I hated doing that, but
that's a pain.
I was planning to do an index for my 5e stuff, and I completely forgot. And now it's too late, so I'm like, yeah, whatever, no index.
Something like this might actually convince me to use a PDF instead of a book, just because the fact that I can get to it quickly. It's like, if I got to look up a Macahuitl, you know, it's like, okay, bang, there we go. Well,
almost.
Oh, maybe I have to fix that one.
Yeah, you got to fix that one. Okay, we found one.
There you go.
Sorry. There we go.
Yeah, and weapons break in this because that's part of the benefit and drawback of Aztec weaponry. Is obviously they're like pieces of wood, like bits of obsidian stuck in there with pine resin and things like that. So when you hit something, like if it breaks, you just put a new blade on there. So there's like a chance that your weapons will break, and players can carry around cores of obsidian if they want. The Aztecs some merchants would carry on like cores of obsidian, and they'd like flake off blades and use it on weapons and whatnot. So, and I try to make weapons too, so there's like a penalty to do non-lethal damage, because obviously you're trying to not kill people if you want to get maximum status points for bringing them back alive. So I tried to make certain weapons like the Macahuitl is pretty deadly. But like things like clubs and stuff like that are really good at obviously knocking people unconscious. So I went the route of those do not have a penalty to deal like non-combat damage, or it's minimized. And yeah, you saw the damages there. Everything's like based around a D6 to kind of keep that flavor of what original Dungeons and Dragons was, where all all the people might not know that, but all the weapons in the 3 little tan books, they all did a d6 of damage. So that might annoy some people, but I kind of like it, and I think it's quite interesting. So
yeah, I like that. Too often it seems like, whenever you pick up a role-playing game, the first thing people do when they're looking at the weapons is which one does most damage.
Well, see, like, though it's nice is that, your worst you're going to get is a -1, the best you're going to get is a +1.
Mhm.
But this is why I suggest using the weapon versus armor thing, because, okay, yeah, they all do around a d6, but the weapon you choose and the armor you're going to attack with will change your hit probabilities and will therefore, change the way a weapon will handle and feel when used in combat. Like, sure, a dagger does a d6, and this is why I think OD&D plus chainmail is cool, because, like, sure, a dagger does d6, but if you try and use like the weapon versus armor from chainmail, you're not going to hit as often with the dagger. So yes, it does the same amount of damage as like a two-handed sword, but you're not hitting as often. So,
and a unique spell list. I like that. It's not just
37 new spells. So, oh, and I should talk about spell acquisition. All of them having to do with flaying and blood and terrible things like that. But one thing I did is the Nohali, which is the spellcaster class, they have access, once you gain a level and you have access to that level of spells, you have access to all those spells under the idea that you have to pray to the gods for them. So I actually use reaction rolls as a way for you during your spell acquisition during the day, and I outline it at the beginning of the spell chapter. I use reaction rolls in order to determine if the gods will give you a spell or not. And so it kind of adds to time. So let's say you're in a hurry to get like your war party going and the gods keep denying you spells. That will affect things. And maybe you have to go into battle with less spells. So there's modifiers for like the Tersenia that the day you're requesting on, because obviously the Aztec calendar is important. And so Game Master is going to roll a 2d6, and hopefully the gods will will grant the spell that you want.
This is where you have hirelings, so you can sacrifice them.
Yep.
This makes 1-to-1 time very important.
It actually would.
It would.
It would. It really would.
Which day are we playing on this week? Oh no, we can't do that. The Trisenia is bad for me.
Yeah.
My biorhythm isn't in the right place.
And the phases are at the beginning too. They affect character creation. So like you roll a d20 for the along a 2-axis thing in order to see like what your zodiac sign is. Zodiac sign will give you some of it's good, some of it's bad, and same with like lucky days too. So you're going to roll a d20 for the vertical and the horizontal, and some of these are good, some of them are bad. Could go, it's the fate of the gods. So.
but John, I wanted my lucky hero background.
Well, too bad you're cursed.
Based.
So, and then it's also the days. So like if you were born on a day number 3, 7, 10, 11, or 12, or 13, it was lucky. And if it was 4, 5, 6, 8, or 9, it was unlucky. Anything else was like, no big deal. But, I tried to put in some things that would be like adventuring elements, like for, I think on one of the, like even on the unlucky ones, if you go to the next table, doomed, like your family's been marred by death, and powerful enmity of the gods. So essentially you got to go like on a quest in order to remove this curse from your family. So I wanted to make, or pursued, you're being pursued by a dangerous enemy of the referee's design. I wanted to at least make like this stuff that's terrible still gameable and interesting, and like, man, I got an unlucky day, but it's still kind of cool, so.
Yeah, it's not so detrimental that it just like makes you, throw away your character sheet in frustration.
And it's like, oh, like my family's doomed, and now I got to go on a quest to remove this curse that's been on my family for some reason. You know, like it makes something. It makes an unlucky day, I think, more interesting to me. So I tried to go that route with it.
Oh heck, with that one, I would build a whole adventure around that because whichever character had that, I'm like, okay, let's make that the focus of the first adventure. Your guy's doomed, so he wants to get a party together so he can go on this quest and undo his family's curse.
So yeah, the Zodiac is a big part of your character creation aspect. Another random element, along with obviously randomly rolling your attributes.
So that means if I do Makahitl Modon, I have to set it before 2012 because that's when the world ends.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I don't really have anything bad to say about this game. I like the layout. I like how unique it is. I love the history elements.
Thank you.
I mean, so much of this too is so lovingly homaged to the 3 books too. It's just it's beautiful. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got anything else on this or?
Well, I've seen it. I've seen it like a bunch of times. So I'm his co-host on Mondays. We've talked about this.
I'm sure. I think it's kind of cool that you have a warrior type that actually has a sneak attack. So.
Yeah, I mean they're essentially like a ranger / thief character. The Eagle Warriors are like scouts, and I wanted to make everyone viable in combat still.
Yeah.
So like even the Nohali, which is a spellcaster, he can wield more than a dagger. Like in OD&D, you can only use a dagger. Like in this, they can wear some armor and they can wield a more limited but still more weapons than just like a knife.
That always bugged me about D&D because using a sword was always so important in Western ceremonial magic.
Yeah.
You'd think they'd get a bit handy with it. I haven't seen any pictures of anyone carrying a chicken under their arm. I am disappointed.
Oh, sorry.
It's very important for representation.
This is kind of interesting. Most people would not include a merchant as a playable class.
They're really good on those reaction rolls. They're the face class,
Mm-hmm.
You want to negotiate with other rulers and things like that, or act as a spy. They're good at that. Within the Aztec society, the merchants often worked as spies. So
makes sense.
Didn't they use cocoa beans as currency?
They did. That was a big part. That was the biggest struggle in designing this, which is why I went the status point route. Because like obviously they had gold, they had silver, but they weren't using it as like coinage. They used like cocoa beans and cloth and things like that. So it's not as exciting when you enter a dungeon or a raid a village and it's like, I got cocoa beans and cloth.
Yeah.
And the Nawali is like the kind of like a druid almost because they get the shape shifting and the spell casting.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Chocolate for XP.
Well, why not?
Suddenly the Oompa Loompas make a lot more sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That would be the Candyland game.
These classes are more gate-kept attribute classes, so they're a little more powerful just to begin with. They're just better, but they're gate-kept by having rolled really good attribute scores. So them and the Shorn one.
Oh yeah, I see. And that's a very old school homage too, because God, I remember trying to be able
Paladin.
to play the paladin and the ranger and the monk.
Yeah, you had to roll well to get them. So.
Mm-hmm. That is cool. Grim, we got to play this.
Sure, add it to the list.
That list is growing, not shrinking.
Yeah. Well, I'd need to run games practically every day to get through my stacks.
Same. Oh man, that's. I don't know. I hadn't checked out the chat, so I don't know what the audience thinks. But oh, Dungeon Delver! Oh my God! Hey, let me throw you a link right quick, Delver, if you can get on, because I figure putting you and Basic Expert in the same room is cool, even if it's just for a minute. Because Delver's an old school guy. He's like one of my favorite old school guys.
He's great. I like.
He
his
is
streams
great.
and I like his Twitter feed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny because everything that he posts up is always kind of on point, and it's very poignant in its own way.
But yeah, thanks for allowing me to show that. I want the Kickstarter to be successful because I want to be able to. I mean, I could just go like what I've done with my past books and just go print on demand, but this book is special to me, and I want to offer something like really cool, and so I'm just gonna go for it.
John Harrison, did you just get here? We just talked about Macahuitl with Basic Expert. That's his new book. You need to go back and rewatch the stream, man, because it's good. It's a really good look at it. Yeah, can you imagine the kiddies today? Trying to build their characters and going, "What? I have to have these stats? That's not fair."
Well, I would be lying if I wasn't a little worried about some other things too. Like I'm kind of worried that because I'm presenting everything so I'm trying to be true to form, with who the Aztec people were, that I'm going to get people mad at me for cultural insensitivity, for being honest and truthful and historical about them. It's historical.
Well, you weren't of the right tribe, so you don't have room to talk.
You are a light skin. You are a light skinned brown person. You're not dark enough. You have not suffered.
Probably, yeah.
I don't think it will. No. I'm making something extremely niche, so
yeah.
it's a niche within a niche within a niche. So I'm fully aware that it's not going to do as well as those. It'd be nice if it did, but I don't think it will.
As long as it doesn't do as well as mine, then I'm happy. I don't want to be overtaken.
Yes. My success is not enough. Others must fail.
Yes, agreed.
For Cerulean Rex's question, for when the Kickstarter would start, I'm hoping for at the latest to be through October. At the latest, I'm hoping to start it sooner than that. But gotta see if I can start it. I don't want to compete with Christmas, so.
You didn't hire any sensitivity readers for this.
Yeah, that's what I was a sensitivity reader myself.
There you go.
It's hard to find ancient Aztecs to sensitivity read things. So.
I mean, yeah, there's probably some like Indians like in southern Mexico he could probably found.
On the plus side, they didn't give him any complaints.
Yeah, true. That's true too. Yeah.
Maybe you could get the Archbishop of Barcelona to sensitivity read it.
Those or some some of those guys out there eating crickets. Yeah, believe it or not. No, I'm talking about some of our. God damn it! You said it.
No, don't do it.
do it.
Don't do it.
I got to.
No, don't you do it.
Basic Expert hasn't seen it yet.
No.
Yes. Oh yes, we're gonna do it. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Do it.
You will eat the box. Yum yum. Adrenochrome so good. Population control. Jawohl. Thank you for your sacrifice. I despise you. Adrenochrome so good. Nouvelle order. Population control. Yum. You will eat the bugs. We need a great reset. Jawohl. You will own nothing und be.
I need to do. That's what my streams need to be. I need to do the NPC streams. That seems to be where you get all the.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well. Okay, so everybody out in the audience, I want you to get your favorite beverage. Oh yeah. Because
before you do that though, did John need to get going now?
I probably need to get going soon. I'm taking my mom out to dinner with the family. So.
Oh, that's nice.
I thought I'd take a moment to give you the out if you feel like you need it.
Yeah, I should probably get going. I want to thank you though, guys, for letting me be on and chat about Star Wars and my thing real quick. But I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
No, anytime, man. You're always welcome to be here. Most of the guys who hang out with us and then subscribe to our streams, you know, they're always welcome on here because it's like, you know, we're all buddies. You know, as long as you aren't, you know, actively making videos about us.
Dang, I gotta reprogram my videos for next week.
We were gonna trash the shit out of you on Monday. Now we're gonna change.
Oh damn!
change plans.
Yeah.
Got that t-shirted man. I can't stand the way he does his show every week. It just got no no sense of organization or anything.
He's like really nice and fair to people, and
he's discombobulated. He ain't got no gumption.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you guys. It means a lot.
You're welcome. You may want to stick around just to see what this is real quick. I know you won't be able to stay for the whole thing, but I'll at least give you a chance. So anybody who's out there in the audience, get your drinking cups ready. That's including you, Grim, Caster, Victor.
Yep.
Y'all ready?
I've already had two.
So I got this in the mail. Ooh. That's right. It's a new Kevin Crawford book.
Drink.
Okay. Cheers. Because you said Kevin Crawford. Okay.
Yep. We said Kevin Crawford.
I only have water, so I hope that's okay.
Yeah, I only have Coke.
That's fine. All I have is Bang. So. Yes, this just arrived, and look, there's no watermark on it, so I could show it to people. It does also hyperlink, but
awesome.
Yeah.
Is that all AI art?
No, it is not. But I don't know how much of it is AI. But considering I got this off of DTRPG, I'm gonna say that it probably passes their AI art test. Now it's not available on DriveThruRPG yet. It's just this is what he was using to distribute it to his early Kickstarter backers, which
makes sense.
The AI test is. Did you use AI? Tell us, please.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you look very, very close there.
It's in there somewhere. My name's in here somewhere.
That's all names.
Shking, there I am. I'm so proud.
Awesome.
I'm so proud.
One of my supporters got it. Grumbler, Vic and Greg both know him. He's on the Gilded server. He got it. And he was talking about this, and it looks very interesting. I'm probably gonna definitely pick this up. Well, I mean, anything Crawford makes is good. So.
Oh yeah. Well, the cool thing about this, and the thing I'm most excited to explore about it, is the fact that the characters there's no character classes.
So it's just purely build your own character with skills.
Is it all skills?
That's cool.
It's all skill based, and there's quite a lot of skills, and backgrounds are a thing, but there's no niche skill. I mean, there's no niche classes.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I think the big test. I think the big test is going to be how it handles hacking, and that because you look at something like Shadowrun or Cyberpunk, where that could effectively take like an entire session in and of itself.
Well, my plan, tentatively right now, is to absorb this because the hardback copy is on its way, and actually run the Cyberpunk setting, Night City, using this.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm sorry, Pondsmith. It's like I don't like the rules for your game. I love your setting though. Your setting is awesome.
I'm very interested in this, but the only reason I haven't looked at it is because I'm working on a similar project, and I don't want to be influenced, and I don't want to get depressed because this is probably like 10 times or 1,000 times better than my shit. So I'm ignoring it for now.
Well, you could always find inspiration in it.
Well, I don't want to be inspired because then people will be like, oh, you took this from Kevin Crawford. Like, I've been in that boat before, and it's really annoying. So
they're gonna say that about anything, though.
Isn't it going to run into the same problems as Red, though? The lack of fidelity in the weapons, hit point bloat as the way of representing toughness.
Actually, it does have a thing for that. I was going to talk about the cyberware, but you derailed me.
Well, my question's more important.
It is. It is. We can always get back to it. Where is it? Yeah, right there. Mixing them together. It tells you exactly how to do it. For World Without Number mages, for cyberware and other settings, because it's supposed to tie into Stars Without Number, which by extension ties into Other Dust. It doesn't necessarily tie into Godbound, but wouldn't be too hard to incorporate words into this. I mean, the power of gods.
Are skills on 2d6 on this?
I believe they are, actually, because that's what he's been doing with all of them.
Yeah, because that's what I think is cool about what he does. Is I love BX and I love Traveler, and so like making those two games kiss is, I like that.
Yeah. To make a skill check, roll 2d6, add the most relevant skill level and attribute modifier. So there you go. And then there's all the difficulties, just like before. And I'm guessing combat is pretty much the same as it was. Armor sometimes has hit points in this one now.
I'll have to pick this up.
Yeah,
I wasn't able to back the campaign, but I was definitely interested.
Well, Crawford was so cool because it's like during the campaign, I asked him, I said, I sent him, I shot him back a note and I said, hey, I'm already buying the hardback, but there's no option for you to buy additional hardbacks, and there's no option for you to buy like soft copies or anything. I said, but I want to buy more than one book for my table because I'm tired of just sharing one book with everybody. So he said, well, since you asked, I'm going to send you a code. So as soon as the POD becomes available, you can get a free POD copy for yourself along with your hardback copy.
Oh,
awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
So like essentially at cost and shipping then, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. I can't wait to get this in, start talking about it. But yeah, it's got dual wielding weapons. It's got everything. It's got all of the tropes.
That's good. Tropes are good.
Yeah, I think he's had vehicle combat before, so that's not new. I'm not sure how differently it's handled in this. But yeah, we do have the cyberware and the cyber decks and drones. Drones is a big deal in this game.
Yeah, I think the background things is like a drone pilot, so so it's kind of neat to see that he was able to incorporate that into this.
Yep.
But yeah, he also has cyber psychosis. He does not call it cyber psychosis. He calls it cybernetic psychosis.
I call it Chrome syndrome.
Yeah, pretty much. I like that it has implantation difficulty modifiers. So yeah, now if your guy goes and gets chromed out with some black market stuff, and they do have black market cyberware in this, in a dirty back alley thing, they can have some difficulties applied to it.
I was originally going to call it Chrome disease, but I figured I might get cancelled for that because it's too close to Crohn's disease. So I made it Chrome syndrome.
That would be shitty.
Too much slide away, start shitting yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got polished.
I love how he uses system strain for so many things. And that's a cool thing. Now I have not seen whether or not he is using Frey dice in this or not. I think he might, but I don't know. Let me see if I can find it in the index.
Real quick though, I'm gonna take off, gentlemen. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right.
I can hear my 3-year-old getting her shoes on over here. So,
all right, man.
Take care, man. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Bye.
Okay. I don't see anything in here about heroic or Frey dice, so I'm guessing that's something you would. Yeah, you'd have to add it in, I guess. Unless I'm just missing it. I mean, granted, I
might
haven't
be calling
had
it something different for this.
Yeah, he might. I haven't had a lot of chances to look this over yet because I just got it a couple of days ago, and life has been busy. But Yeah, you've got suppressive fire. You have summoners. What the hell are summoners? Summoners and spirit calling.
Oh, it's Shadowrun.
Oh yeah, it is Shadowrun. Uh-oh. We just said a bad word. Grim is going to get mad at
You
us.
did. God damn it. Get your elves out of my cyberpunk.
It does actually have elves in it.
More elves.
No!
More orcs.
Well, yes and no. I mean, they're... I like how they handle these. Let me find it. The section for that.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna go ahead and start doing this for sort of a, we'll say, generic cyberpunk, you might as well go ahead and add some of the Shadowrun stuff and throw it in there too as just an optional rule. That way you can piss off two companies at the same time.
Yeah, there you go.
So from what I'm seeing, it might be called Shock in this book instead of Frey dice, or
I saw something about trauma. Trauma dice.
Trauma dice, huh?
Like doing you were in the combat section earlier, and I saw something about like weapon trauma or trauma dice. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, here it is. Variant humanity. Yeah, so he's got Eloy, which are these are genetically engineered variations on humanity. So it makes more sense. It's not just like elves mystically springing up out of the ether.
Wasn't that the name for the humans in fucking the time machine?
Yeah,
I think it was actually.
Yeah, it was Eloy the Eloy and the Morlocks. Yeah.
Yeah, Eloy and Morlocks.
My laptop is named Eloy, and my desktop is named Morlock because Morlock lives under the desk, and Eloy goes around.
Yeah,
that's so literary of you, Grim. Yeah, but they were designed as an appealing face for variant humanity: tall, slender, perfectly proportioned, considerably more attractive, sharply pointed ears, as a legal maneuver.
As fuck.
Yeah. Then they have like the Skyborn, which are optimized for life aboard orbital habitats, and they're nicknamed Canners. They live in cans. Yeah, and they do have Morlocks. And these guys are a little over 2 meters tall, heavily muscled and fanged. Some have bestial muzzle-like features, and others have more conventional faces. And they have ogres, which are their 2.7 meter tall. How tall is that, Grim? Is that like almost 7 foot? Over 7 foot?
A tall story of a house is 2 meters, so it's a bit over 6 foot.
Like almost 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Somewhat lessened by their habitual slouch, their skin is exceptionally tough, plated at points with bone-like organic armor that forms a symmetrical pattern. Arms are larger.
Nice.
So yeah,
Ogrins.
Yeah, basically, it's like, so if you have that guy in your group who's just like, I don't want to play humans, I play humans every day, then it's like, okay, well look, here you go. Here's 4 options for you that are variant humanity.
There's also less magic and more like genetic engineering and stuff, which that fits like the cyberpunk setting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cyber-induced psychosis is his name for it. Mm-hmm. So CIP.
I think I have that because I've been playing Path of Exile for 2 hours now.
I need to start playing that, but man, that game is so big.
Well, I'm here to help
just
you.
like the sequel.
So is this book?
No,
dense.
Don't go with the sequel.
So what?
This book looks very dense.
It is. Well, everything Crawford does is dense. As far as, like double columned, lots and lots of words.
Look, the only thing that needs to be dense right now is probably the thickness of the boards in my bookshelf, because it's starting to cry.
Yeah, is it starting to bow in the middle?
Just a little bit.
Like 257 pages. I mean, I'm not counting the back starter, the backer pages.
And it's all small font, very compact.
That's not very many.
Yeah, this one also came with a free edition, which is also very big. I would hand that out to people, but I don't know that I can yet. I think I have to wait until it's officially released before I just start giving it away willy-nilly. But it has a light version. It also has 2 forms of character sheets. One is your traditionally printable character sheet and your form fillable. It also has an EPUB and a MOBI format if you use those. So it's got a lot of everything in it.
EPUB, very obscure.
Yeah, I don't think anybody even uses it. Yeah, let's see
I use EPUB all the time.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
I read books on my phone.
Okay, so trauma die is a dice rolled when a lethal weapon hits. If it's equal to or higher than the target's trauma target, which is usually 6, the victim takes a traumatic hit, as explained on page 37.
Okay, it's not quite the same.
What is a traumatic hit, then? High-powered weaponry and fragile human bodies do not mix. A lethal attack is a trauma...
Sounds like if the damage goes over the trauma number, then you just take extra ill effects, I guess. Which is very simple. I like that. That's a good system.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it says every weapon has a trauma dice listed along with a trauma rating. When this attack hits a living creature, the assailant rolls this die. If the total is equal or greater than the victim's trauma target, it's a traumatic hit, and the total damage they inflict with the blow is multiplied by the trauma rating. So, like, yeah, if he's got a knife that has a ×3 trauma rating and it goes through your trauma dice, it's like you're taking a ×3 hit. Ow.
Mm-hmm.
Basically kind of like a critical hit, but it's not necessarily dependent on a magical D20 roll. Wow. So what was the other thing you found? It was like you found trauma dice and what else?
Shock was the other one.
Shock. Okay.
And heroic rules was the other thing it might be under.
I didn't see anything under. Yeah, I didn't see anything under heroic. Shock is something that's been around in all the other systems. Shock damage is kind of like, well, I mean, we'll let him describe it, but it's like, yeah, melee attacks that inflict shock is extra damage that's done when you have like less AC than whatever weapon it is. So, like, if you have a weapon that has like 3 points of shock or something like that, and you have an AC that's below whatever that thing's shock value is, you'll take whatever the damage of the weapon is plus the additional shock damage.
This seems like too many if-then statements to figure out during combat.
It's been in all the systems. It's been in Worlds Without Number and Stars Without Number. Now I haven't used it because I use the variant rule, the heroic variant rule, and just use Scarlet Heroes because it makes it simplified. And I will probably continue to do that for this, just because A, I like it, and B, it just makes things easier. I mean, yeah, if you want to deal with spongy targets that take lots and lots of damage and stuff to hit, which I don't know, maybe that's important on this because the cybernetic armor and stuff like that maybe makes more of a difference. Which we really haven't looked at the cyberware yet, but yeah, you can actually damage the cyberware and have to get it fixed. There's a whole thing on vehicle combat. And Grim, you'll be happy to know that vehicle damage is a little different than people damage. So yeah, you can't turn someone's car into Swiss cheese. And then, like the person just stands there like he's being ignored.
Yeah. Vehicle rules are hard.
They are.
Silhouette did it great.
I have some basic ones in Modern Necessities, and nobody's complained about them yet, so I guess I did right.
So actually looking at Cyber, I mean, they have all the different tools and everything you need, but implant complications, skill plugs, and this is for actually just plugging in new skills, which uses their skill system. It has rules for secondhand cyber. It has rules for black market cyber. But, I mean, then we actually get to the stuff, and it's just like, wow. I mean, this is one page.
See that it's also dense. Like that, it needs spacing. It needs spaces between everything. Like I don't like when like one paragraph leads directly into the next thing without a space. And he's got like plenty of like space still on those pages. Like look how much empty room there is beneath.
Yeah, that's a way out oversight, in my opinion.
Some people hate it when you put those spaces in, though. whichever way I format things, I get people giving me shit.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. It's just my personal preference at the end of the day, but it just makes, like, when it's so dense, when everything just kind of like blends together like that, it just makes it so hard for me to read. It's like you lose the forest through the trees, you know? So
yeah.
Well,
no, I agree.
He's got 7 pages of actual cyberware, and then he starts in on another page of mods. I mean, and then he actually gets to the decks and the deck mods. So it's very dense. But it's a complete game.
Yeah.
You don't have to have anything else.
Which is cool.
And this being Crawford, he's probably not going to put out anything else for it for a good long while. I mean, it took him a few years before he put out the Atlas of whatever it is, Earth for Worlds Without Number. And that added a whole bunch of stuff.
Is it open though?
What?
Is it open for people to develop for?
Yeah, as far as I know. And matter of fact, I think he has pretty much said that, he's not, he doesn't have any kind of a license or anything like that. It's like, whatever you want to do, you can do it with this. So, Grim, if we want to strap on the typewriter, we can make some stuff for it.
But you still owe me that thing you're currently working on.
I've got a couple of things I'm working on.
I need to finish this J.G. Ballard-inspired thing for the Red Room. And then I have to work on a couple of adult projects.
Ooh.
Yeah. A choose-your-own-adventure sex book. And the Deck of Many Kinks.
Ooh. That I want to see. So, okay, here's his hacking rules. And how it works. It's really nice art there. Nodes and access. It seems like it's a lot of stuff to read and memorize, but it's really not too bad because it flows really well. I mean, it's like, let me blow it up so you guys can actually read it. I mean, how does that read to you guys?
Yeah, that's a bit more.
Perfectly legible.
Still, yeah. Spaces would be nice, but I get it.
So overall, I'm pretty stoked about it. Can't wait to run this. It does have its own world, so you can use his setting if you want to, or you can, like I said, you can take an existing property and just drop your stuff right into it. And it's got all kinds of settings and creation, and as in true Crawford fashion, it has lots and lots of tables to generate random stories.
Yeah.
That you can sandbox the hell out of it. And, and including all the different stuff that you need to build different districts. So you could literally just create a whole city based on this.
The ruins of New Detroit.
Exactly. And you could do it block by block, district by district. In fact, well, my honest thing to figuring out how to do it would be to take an actual real world city and just outline all the districts in that city, and then literally just use this and overlay your stuff on top of it. Just change the names and stuff. Like call it Neo Tokyo or something instead
I can run my Robocop campaign.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? New Detroit, Old Detroit.
Yeah.
Having done Whitechester, modern cities and settlements are far too dense for you to generate everything everywhere. So yeah, I'd go with a map, sketch out the main areas, and then have reference numbers for other blocks that you can randomly generate if they come up. That would be a better way to do it.
Yeah, you kind of have to like theater of the mind at that point when you like do big city, like modern city stuff. It's like, yeah, there's skyscrapers and there's like neon. That's all you need to know.
Well, I love it.
Can I take a second to show like my version real quick, just like what the page layout looks like? Because
sure.
Like it won't take more than a second, but people can get an idea of what I'm doing with old school essentials.
And yes, Ironcaster, we will talk about Castle Geek. We're like I said, we're running out of time, but
let's get Victor first.
Yeah. So I'm using old school essentials for mine. So it's gonna have classes, including races class. So you see, cyborg races class basically here. I've got the street samurai. I don't have much in this one yet because most everything is just in Word files. So yeah, you can see a Chrome syndrome. These are like my rules for how how many cybernetics a character can have. So yeah, this is my layout and what I'm doing. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to show real quick as a comparison.
Nice. I like it.
I like the little border you added in.
Yeah, the well, I put it the same on the cover. The image on the cover is like a placeholder right now. I still need to get like custom art, but yeah, it's got like the what's it called, the circuit board stuff.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to pick it up.
Yeah, I will definitely do that. I'd like to contribute to it too.
Yeah.
That's kind of up to the author.
Yeah. No, definitely. We'll just have to make sure that we make your stuff grayscale, because I'm gonna do black and white interior because just easier to print. Well, actually, I guess I don't, because I've got the blue stuff in it, so I guess I can use color. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, sure. I am gonna bring up Castle Geek, but I want to show this off really quick because this kind of goes along with what we just saw. So I'm pumped about this. Wait a minute. Yeah, I am. Wait a minute. What the heck what am I doing here?
I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to play.
I was too. I was like, that's not what I... Did I get the wrong thing?
At least it wasn't porn.
No, it wasn't porn, but...
God damn it.
Yeah, I downloaded the wrong damn thing. Okay. Give me just a moment, guys. Talk amongst yourselves.
No. I think the silence here is more awkward, more entertaining.
So yeah, we'll just sit here judging you quietly.
Just gonna quietly judge me?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, don't do that. I can't believe I should have checked that.
On the plus side, Noy Dat in chat says he's looking forward to your book, Victor.
Yeah. So am I. I'm looking forward to being done.
Oh, of course. Easy YouTube video downloader is not working. That's just par for the course. Thank you very much. All right, I'm gonna have to get one of you hosses to show this off. Let me toss the link into the private chat, and somebody who has audio can please put this up for me.
Got you covered.
Thank you. Go for it.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go.
Wow, the sound is hard on this.
Park. Welcome to Dogtown. There's a job. Coordinates provided. You know what to do.
Get your ammo, assault rifles, tactical gear.
And thinking of buying some iron.
The logical choice.
Damn. Green view.
Ooh.
Home stretch. Getting a ripper to overclock your chrome before the fight. Not a bad idea.
I like how everything is redesigned.
Right. Get this show on the road.
Pause. Okay, something you couldn't see, but you can if you go back and you check out the perk page. David from Edge Runners is on one of those perk things, and Rebecca is on another one. So yes, they're definitely paying homage to the Edge Runner stuff. You won't be able to find it, I don't think, because I had to keep stopping and starting to find it. First time I went through it, but if you go back and look at it, you will find it.
Nice.
But they also not only do they redesign the perk trees, but they also give you relic perks now. Yeah, Kendachi, finally. Yes. Okay. Where's our sound? Air dashing. Yeah, Mike, me too. I mean, I was punching the shit out of everything. Yeah, there's a relic skill tree. And that's Lucy in the middle.
Yeah. And then, is that David on the left?
No, David is on the, he's on a different one, but it's definitely him because he's got his back to you with and you can see the R on his coat.
Yeah.
But he's definitely in it. That spatial mapping looks cool. Limiter removal.
Job done.
Now they just need to add co-op.
Now see, this is all stuff that they should have in the actual Cyberpunk game.
Yeah, no.
Like a feat tree? Where you
They
can
kind of
push your
do.
character. Do they?
Well, yeah. As you go up in levels, you can access different special abilities under your special ability.
I knew you were always a feet man, t-shirted.
I am. I've always been a feet guy. Yeah, perk redistribution. Yeah, you're going to have to rebuild your character completely, Surly Unicorn. They've already said that, which doesn't bother me. Oh, clerics, you got to take off. Okay, see you, bud.
I don't really like the direction that Cyberpunk Red is taking anyway. I saw like the art from one of the supplements and it looked like trash. It looked like just like, I don't know, just like way too friendly kiddie stuff. It's like, that's not Cyberpunk.
I'm closing the gig and sending you a little bonus.
Yes.
Something that will spirit you home safely. Someone dispatched a hunter. Good luck.
And all the new vehicle combat looks cool as hell.
Fuck incoming! Fire Chelsea drop!
Got a net runner cinch here! Need backup right now!
All nearby units. We got a
so cool.
situation in Watson. Roger, dispatch. We're on our way.
It's the police, for fuck's sake.
Yes, and you go beyond level 50.
Your actions are illegal.
There's going to be a
Let me
lot
put it
more
this
stuff to keep you playing
No
after
gun,
you
no
finish.
fun. Max Tech.
Noi, that was V3. We don't talk about V3.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Yes, good vehicle combat is another thing missing from Red, yes, which is why I said cities without numbers.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, Carp 2185 is definitely much better, I think.
I only hope this won't mark the end of our collaboration. You will hear from me soon. This I guarantee you.
I'm very stoked about this. I kind of wonder how much of Starfield's fire this is going to steal. Because basically it's like, what, Starfield releases in like, what, a week or two?
Yeah, end of September, I think.
No, Starfield is beginning of September. Cyberpunk is end of September. So
I mean, on the plus side, Starfield will have had kind of that 2.5 weeks to sort of burn out a bit. So it'll be a chance for like a fresh new game to come in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kind of looking. Everyone's right now playing Armored Core 6 right now. So that just came out this weekend.
Yeah, Armored Core 6 came out this weekend. I don't have it yet. But I did get Blasphemous 2, which is actually something I was looking forward to, and I've been enjoying that.
Yeah, Starfield's September 1st, so a day before my birthday. Yay.
Is it that early? Is it September 1st?
Yeah, so in a
Wow.
week. Well,
Dang.
about a week now.
Yeah. So it's coming up this week.
Yeah.
That'll be sharp. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I'm hoping my sales money will allow me to pick it up, but if not, well, Guess I'll just have to wait.
I've been playing the remake of Front Mission, which I'm really enjoying.
Oh, how is that?
It's really good, as I remember. It's one of the old tactical ones, so it's not that crappy third-person one they shat out in the last generation.
Front Mission 3 is still my favorite.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think they've remade 1 and 2 so far.
Since everybody is asking about it, well, let's see. First off, some Castles and Crusade news. Codex Sinarum. I finally got my full copy of it because they finally released it. I don't have the book yet, but I do have the PDF, and it looks cool. It's taken them forever to get that out, but they did it. But the big one that is on everybody's feed right now is this one right here. And this is pre-order only, $65. But yeah, you can get access to the PDF immediately if you buy it, which I did. So yeah, Castle's the Gig by Gary Gygax. It's the whole campaign.
What system is it for?
This is
Castles and Crusades?
This is Castles and Crusades.
Okay.
And the nice thing too is they have Darlene working in this. Darlene, for those of you guys who don't remember, is like one of the first artists that worked for TSR way back in the day. In fact, she designed that original TSR Wizard logo. But she ran into some financial difficulties and stuff not so long ago, so I'm hoping that they pulled her onto this to help her out. Because I know that when we talked to Steven Chenault a couple years ago, we let him know about it. And he was like, "Oh, I didn't know." So, kind of hoping some of that happened. But yeah, I haven't even had a chance to look at this yet. That's how new this is to me. But it's huge. There's not much art in this from what I've seen, though. It's pretty dense. It's a whole campaign setting. Let me blow it up just a little bit for you guys.
Gonna have to sit down and take a chance to go through this proper later.
Definitely. But I love that it's so detailed that, you know, it actually has like hair and cosmetics and stuff like that detailed to help you get into it. It's got the names of everyone. It tells you what the coins look like. And I love stuff like this because it reminds me of City State of the Invincible Overlord, which is like the most complete city that I ever read for the longest time.
Yes, a classic Gary Gygax autism.
Look at this. This is the form of a dress for everybody on here.
Yeah, as I said.
Yeah. Well, you know, this, if this is actually all written by Gygax, then it's kind of like, it tells me that the dude was like so heavy duty into immersion, which is a good thing. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever used the word immersion and role-playing game in the same sentence in a negative way. Yep, got our classic hex maps.
So yeah, this has been like a long time coming because the on the secondary market, the like copies of this were going for like hundreds of dollars, and you can get it for a fraction of that now. Just go ahead and pre-order it, and hopefully we'll get some more.
Yeah, $65, and this can be yours. 73 after tracking. And actually, I got lucky because I put it in my cart. But then I thought, oh, I'm not going to have enough to afford this. So I clicked out of it and went on to do other stuff. 10 or 15 minutes later, I got an email from Troll Lord Games, and they said, hey, We noticed you got something in your cart. We'd like to offer you this 10% coupon off your purchase to make you come back and pick it up. So I was like, as soon as I did that, I was like, oh wow, that paid for all my shipping, and it still kept the cost down. So I actually got mine for like $63 with the shipping covered. So, well, tip there for you guys if you're be patient. And Trollord runs, they run specials all the time and sales. So, one thing I like about that company. So far, it's lots of background detail. I'm curious to see if we actually get any. Oh yeah, here we go. We got some stats here now. Bronze Golem of the Striped Mage. Oh, this is the encounters. 12 celestial houses. Man. Stat blocks and stuff. Man, there's just so much here.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah. Let me flip to the back just to see what else is back here. Oh, color maps.
It does have color.
Yep. Wow. And I think those are actually, I believe it is a box set. I'm not sure. But usually they put these maps extra. I mean, like as part of the book or whatever. That's useful. Yeah. So these are extra, and this is what the actual back cover looks like.
Let's see. So what can we look to expect out of this for the price? Well, for the $65, you will get a full color 24 by 30 inch map of the environment. You'll get a this likewise map of the town. 9 interior maps with points of interest. 600 NPCs.
Yeah, look at this. It's crazy.
30 plus random encounters and event tables. 50 plus random encounters and offering hundreds of adventure venues. Orders of battle for everything from goblins to knights.
There we go.
New monsters, magic items, and spells from the Castle and Crusades role-playing game. Crime and Punishment in Yicksburg.
It's got some optional rules in here too.
So I mean, just with 200 plus 260 pages, this is an entire campaign.
It is. This is a chunky
this
book.
Is part one, right? There's more, I think.
Isn't this just basically the outside of the castle itself?
I think so. So I'd ask Steven about that, but
have we ever gotten the proper castle? And I don't mean like the Wizards of the Coast, like let's make fun of like Star Trek.
Yeah, like Castle Greyhawk or whatever, Castle Zagig itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't have that, as far as I know. Actually, let's go back to that.
Like how it actually has like monsters and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it looks like it's like a full setting.
So this is elite administration residences. Yeah, this is all places of interest, environs. Yeah, so we still don't have the actual castle itself, which, wow. Man, look at all these organizations, too. These are all the encounters and then, yeah. Okay, so Castle Zagig is 117. See if we can find that real quick.
Did that not work as a hyperlink?
Did it? Let me see. It does. Okay.
Stop enthusing about that. It's a pain in the ass, and I don't want to do it. I'll do bookmarks.
Okay, so you can approach the vicinity of the abandoned castle, but it doesn't actually detail the castle. It says this location will be detailed in upcoming installments of Castles of Gig series. Ow.
Yeah. So like I said, this was book 1, I think.
Yeah. This is book 1. But there it is. That's the thing everybody's been talking about here lately. And yeah, I snagged a copy, and now you guys have had a chance to look at it too, so you can see what you think.
Encounters was misspelled. There's typos on every page.
Well, that part wasn't written by Guy Gax.
And then I believe coming down the pipeline is going to be their next probably codexes or their next books for Demons and Angels, I think.
Yeah, that's coming out on Kickstarter. I've already got that on Notify for whenever it lets they tell me about it. Because yeah, I follow Troll Lord pretty closely. I don't necessarily use all of their stuff in my games, but I like the company, I like the people, I like to support them.
Me too. I just think they need to get their stuff out there.
I do too. I wish more people would.
They need to get their stuff in game stores. I know they're probably reluctant to go that far, but they need to get some kind of distribution network in place to get this in people's hands.
Yeah, I'd like to see them give Hasbro a real run for their money. And not just whenever, Hasbro does something stupid like try to change the OGL.
I mean, they can definitely run with like Gary Gygax's name. That's a huge marketing thing right there.
Two old heads. Yeah, but
well, but even then still, I think like there is a sort of muted kind of acknowledgement of the significance of the name. Yeah. The news of the week.
Yeah. And as usual, we didn't get to we didn't get to do everything, but like I said, like the title of this thing said, this is 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, because it's like we had so much we could talk about today, and we covered a lot, but we didn't cover everything. And oh, wait a minute, Eric, Greg, what do you got?
Oh, I was just saying, if we're gonna wrap it up and we got people to plug their stuff, and I can always throw out there, what we've got going on here.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's start wrapping up, because we're already past time. I'm sure Grim is tired.
Yes, I've been stifling many a yawn.
I'm sorry, but at least we hope it's been entertaining.
Yeah, let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
Friendo.
All right, so who wants to go first?
What you got?
You pick you at random. Okay.
The usual. Watch the Dutch Oven on Sundays. Watch Natural Ones with the Basic Expert on Mondays. Watch One Shots on Tuesdays, and then buy my stuff, Modern Necessities, 5e Modern, all that junk. So yeah, that's it really.
This motherfucker eating beef! Wait, no, it's not true, it's not true.
I do love beans, yes.
Yes. You want to go ahead, Greg?
Yeah, Tabletop Junkie reviewed 2 of my books in the past week. He just did kind of a quick overview and looked at them, and he really liked them. So if you're curious, you like Tabletop Junkie, just go take a quick peek. He did the first book and the Doom That Came to Astrius. Check out Tabletop Junkie's site. He loves to cover Castles and Crusades as well. I know he's a big CNC guy. So that's good gamer, good nice guy. Check his stuff out.
When I get Codex Scenarum in my hands, I will definitely invite him to the stream to take a look at it, because I know he'll be excited about that. So I'm gonna give you a goddamn.
God damn!
There you go.
Nice, thanks.
Yep.
I got my Kaiju versus Mecha game still working on. Did some more playtesting, and hopefully we'll have a trailer coming up pretty soon, a live action trailer. So that will be cool. But yep, that's all I got going on. Follow me at Iris Chronicles.
Nice. And Kester?
coming up on Tuesday, I've got Talk Hard with Pops and Stone Loki, where we're going to be sitting down and watching the 2002 movie Hero with Jet Li.
Ooh, been a long time since I've seen that one.
Yeah. Oh, it's been forever since I watched it, so I gotta go sit down and watch that one.
Yeah. Anything else?
I think we're looking at a Mark Millar comic on Friday for the Friday Night Comic Shop talk.
Oh, okay. No Nick Weiser this week?
No, I mean that. Oh, yeah. And gonna be putting out a review of issue 2 of the Conan comic with Nick.
Nice. I still need to get that. I'm so far behind. All right, I'm gonna give you your favorite.
That map cover, by the way.
What?
If you go get issue 1, get the map cover. It's beautiful.
Okay, I will.
Come with me to Monkey Land.
Why is it the Monkey Land?
Because I just love you, Monkey Land. Grim.
Hello. I am currently working on a setting for Wretched New Flesh for the Red Room. I just posted the cover on my Twitter, if you want to go and have a look. It's inspired by the works of J.G. Ballard. So if you know J.G. Ballard, he of Crash and High Rise and Concrete Island and The Drowned World and I Want to Fuck Ronald Reagan. Yeah, that's that's the inspiration behind that one. It's basically a potted environment of weirdness that you get trapped in, like a very early arcology that's trapped in the 1970s. So yeah, that's fun. I have a retro clone of Bushido that is 90% done, but I don't know when I'm going to get to the last 10%. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be working on a couple of adult projects. Tomorrow we're playing, aren't we, T-shirt?
Tentatively, I believe so.
Okay.
I'm very
Tentatively.
well. I'll be honest. I'm very unhappy right now because of that situation. But
yeah, but yeah, he's okay with it. So let's figure out a way around it. And then immediately after that, I will be on Inappropriate Characters, which I'm sure will be fun.
Let's give you the pimp.
Hands up, shawty when you party with me, we going way back score to the queen. I said hands up, I'm good in the VIP. I got my...
All right, and hi, I'm your T-shirted historian. You can catch me at Twig, this channel, on Fridays on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And real quick, I got a bunch of stuff this week, but the stuff we really want to see. Let's see. I got Skeleton Knight in Another World. I know I didn't have to buy it, but I got it. Got my Blu-ray copy of Reincarnated as a Sword to go along with my bootleg copy of Reincarnated as a Sword. So now I have to give my bootleg away to somebody else. And oh dear, what was this? Uh-oh, Viper GTS. Oh no. Yeah, sometimes a man has to get some fun in his life, you know?
A man has needs.
Man has needs.
Does not a man deserve his own harem of monster girls?
Yes. Is not a man entitled to the sweat of his balls? Oh, wait a minute. Yes, and yes, there is a big DCC bundle sale this week on Humble Bundle.
I think 75 books. It's actually a really big old bundle.
It is a huge bundle. I'm 50. Okay, so yeah, most of them are young. Okay. It's like I catch women my age. Usually they're like in menopause. It's kind of. Poncho! Oh, dang. Wow. Okay, then. That was probably not the comment to highlight. Anyway. No, says the man in the localization department.
Oh.
Oh,
sad.
Yeah. All right. Well, shall we say good night, everyone? Farewell.
Bye, everyone. Of dag iedereen, I should say.
Yes, indeed. See you on the next week in Geek.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.